You hear that? Those are frogs. I've been hearing frogs all day long. Those smaller frogs, and then also big bullfrogs. You know, in Florida, I fish frogs pretty much year-round. That's not the case in a lot of other areas. It's spring and summer, but in Florida, we can fish frogs year-round. I've come to appreciate a couple different styles of frogs that I like to use personally, and they're all for different situations and conditions. You know, can you hear them all? I mean, I'm not kidding, there are a lot of frogs. And that is a great big bass bait. Big bass, little bass, all bass like frogs. You know, this one right here, because of the way it's designed, this is a waking frog. You can walk it a little bit, or you can hop it a little bit. But the nice thing about it is you can fish it really slow, and you can fish it in the heaviest of all cover. Look at that, those hooks right there. It's totally weedless, but when it gets bit, the hooks are exposed. Okay, so this is a great bait. I really like throwing this heavy cover big bass bait. Comes in different sizes too. You want to think about sizes depending on the time of year and how big those frogs are. So that was a larger one. This is a medium-sized frog. And then also I like throwing, especially on a spinning rod, a lot of times I'll throw this little frog. I mean, they're just going off around here. This little frog right here. And I can fish it in small little pockets of water, you know, really accurate cast, and leave it in there for a long time. And all it's doing is waking, it's parting the water. One thing all of these frogs have in common is the profile. No matter what, with the two legs and that body, it's unmistakable from underneath to the fish. All right, it's a frog. They're seeing a frog and they are eating a frog. We are after frog eaters. This is a poppin' frog, two different styles of poppin' frogs. And you know, this is if I want to make a little bit more commotion in a small area. So same thing, you can fish this slow, but it's making a little bit more of a splash for sure. With that cup right there or this cup. But both of these work really well. Same thing, very weedless, but the minute they bite down on it, you've got those really nice hooks to bury it. All right, so those are the two different types of rubber frogs that you typically see. Z-Man has two frogs that I like to use. One of them's called the goat toads. And this I call a speed frog. I typically will fish this fast across heavy grass or isolated grass patches. And why I fish it fast is because the way these feet are designed, they kick and make a great bubble trail. And I'm typically fishing it with a small bullet head sinker in the front of it, this one right here. And if I have a fish tracking it, I could kill it and the frog will start to dive, and 9 times out of 10, it's over then. When you kill it and that frog dives, it's gonna get eaten. So I like to do that. That's about a 1/16 or a 32nd ounce, depending on what you're doing. Matches up really nice. I put a little stopper in front of it so the lead, so it stays against the head. And then the other one Z-Man has is the poppin' frogs. All right, same thing. You see it is got a little cup there. This is Elastec. This stuff is incredibly durable. It'll last forever. It has a hook slot right here too, okay? Where my hook goes into. Once I rig it, it's 100% weedless. So those are my different styles of frogs, and I find different conditions that I fish them all in. Right now, we're hearing enough frogs today that I think they're out moving around, swimming, hopping on the shore. You know, the damselflies are out. They're eating damselflies. All these other little flies along the shore, they're feeding on that, the frogs are. And we're gonna go try to catch frog eaters.